CRM. And so we're going to talk about the overall setup of accounts and the basic out-of-the-box features that are available for you when working with accounts. So here is our agenda. We're going to spend most of the time just looking at the CRM. Don't have a lot of slides here, but just had to look at what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about the whole overall hierarchy with accounts and how they serve as a foundation within the CRM. We're going to talk about parent and child accounts, the relationships that accounts have with other entities, specifically these four that we're going to touch on. We're going to look at some of the default fields that are available out of the box, and then we're just going to talk about customization capability. So let's go ahead and take a look at the CRM here. Okay, so here I just have my home page of my CRM. So when we're talking about accounts, I mentioned that they are the foundation for the CRM. And what I mean is that pretty much everything rolls up to an account level. Accounts are used across all the apps that CRM has available. So whether you are using it for sales, you're using it for customer service, field service, resource scheduling, whatever it is you may be using it for, you will have accounts as an option available to you. The out-of-the-box idea behind accounts is those are the organizations or the companies that you work with, and contacts are then the individual people. So accounts serve as a parental hierarchy within the CRM. And what that means is that all your opportunities, your cases, your contacts, things that are happening with them can roll up to the account level. So when we look at an account, we can see all the opportunities that are associated to that account that roll up. What takes place with those opportunities rolls up to that account level. What takes place with the cases rolls up to that account level as well. And then on the flip side of that, if you delete an account, out of the box, it is set up that all of those related records would delete as well. So any opportunities could delete. It is set up with that parental roll-up type functionality out of the box. You can change that. So you can, within your configuration of CRM, set it so even though it's associated, it doesn't have that parental hierarchy set up. So deleting an account or deleting a parent account wouldn't get rid of everything that is underneath it. But out of the box, it is generally set up that way. Another type of hierarchy within accounts, I mentioned parent and child accounts. So right here, I have a list of all my active accounts, and you see that some of them have this little hierarchy icon next to them. Not all of them, just a few of them. And what that is telling us is that is indicating that that account is a part of some type of hierarchy. You would use this when you have maybe a corporate location that has multiple facilities, or one company that has multiple locations. Off the top of my head, I would think of hotels, many different branches or locations, but one corporate office that might be in charge of paying you or billing you or whatever it may be. Or you could have different plants, manufacturing or otherwise. So there can be a need for this parent-child relationship. So when I select this icon, I'm just going to take a look next to this particular account here. What it shows me is it shows me that little hierarchy. So our parent account in this example is this parent account example. And here are all the different accounts that fall under that, all these child accounts. One thing that you will notice when you have that parent-child relationship, this bottom number is showing us the total number of open revenue based on the opportunities. And at the parent level, this is just a combination, it's the sum of all the child accounts. So we do see at that parent account level, you can identify, okay, this is for everything, this is that roll up, and then you can have all those different locations and facilities. You are not required to use parent accounts but it is helpful if you do have those types of companies where you have a main or corporate type company and then multiple locations. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull up one of these actual accounts. We're going to look at the form. How you enter a parent account is a field that is available that just says parent account, or you can name it whatever you want, but out of the box it's just called parent account, and you place that parent account name in there. So of course the parent account has to be created first, and then it can be attached to child accounts. This is something to be aware of when you are implementing if you are doing bulk uploads. So with bulk uploads, if that parent account is not created before the child account, you would receive an error attempting to attach that parent account, and that particular child account would not be created. So I do find it helpful when dealing with accounts to identify parent accounts first, and I usually upload them first, and then I upload all the other accounts afterwards. That way those accounts are in existence and I don't run into as many errors when attempting to do those bulk imports. So since we talked about the parent-child relationship, we are going to talk about relationships with accounts and other entities. The common one you think of first are contacts. Contacts are generally assigned to an account, and you can see within this account, out of the box, there is a space for a primary contact to be identified from your list of contacts. A lot of people try to enter this right away, but when we were looking at what comes first, the chicken or the egg type situation, accounts need to come first, and then you need to create the contacts and associate them with an account. And then finally, you can circle back and you can apply and contact as your primary contact for an account. So it's kind of a three-step process to get to your primary contact. The account has to be created, and then you create the contacts and associate them with the account. And then finally, you can come back and then assign a primary contact to an individual account. When you're looking at the relationship between accounts and contacts, one account can have multiple contacts, but a contact can only be associated with a single account. So it is one account, many contacts, and then from contacts, one account or one contact can have one account. The same thing goes pretty much with everything from an accounts perspective. Your one account can have many opportunities, but opportunities can only be associated to one account. Same with cases. That's where you can have many cases for a single account, but one account per case. And activities can be tracked at the account level. Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. Activities are your emails, phone calls, appointments, tasks, things like that, and they can be tracked at the account level. But one thing that I always say in a relationship between activities and accounts, you can have a direct relationship where you can have an email that pertains specifically to an account, or they can have an indirect parental relationship in that an email could be sent regarding a particular opportunity. And because that opportunity is associated to this account, you would also see that email regarding that opportunity roll up to the account level. So when I look here, and this is on our notes section, you're going to see a lot of posts on here. You're going to see automatic posts. This is regarding an opportunity that was won for this account. This was an opportunity that was completed. You can see tasks that were modified. All of these tasks pertain to a specific opportunity, not just directly to this account, but we see them on the account tab because of that hierarchy and that relationship between those types of entities. So it is helpful to keep that in mind. I always say when you are associating things, especially activities, to take it down to the most detailed level. So everything pertains to the account, whether it's an opportunity or a case or a contact, it can all come to an account. You could track it at an account level, that would be fine. But if you would go into that opportunity or that case or that contact, you would not see things you tracked at that account level. So if an email comes in or you have a phone call about a specific opportunity, track it at the opportunity level because you will see it here at the account level. So just a couple of things to keep in mind when you're thinking about relationships and how they can work with the accounts. Accounts being, again, that foundation, everything kind of goes up to the account. So the next thing I want to look at from an out-of-the-box perspective is the fields that are available out of the box and the configuration that you can do with those fields. So looking at this page, this is just a very generic form for your account, and I pulled in all of the out-of-the-box fields that you have available to you. And we're going to look at a few across these different tabs. So looking here, obviously you give the account name, phone number, their website. You can attach a parent account. You can provide an address. And you also can associate with Bing Maps. And if you enable that, it can map your actual location if you're using addresses. Over here, we have different categories and classifications, and a lot of these just show default value because these are things that you can configure. What is helpful to know about accounts is the types of buckets and option sets you want to use. You need to think about how you are going to want to split this data. Accounts don't just have to be customers. Accounts can be vendors you work with. It can be partners that you have. It can be customers or prospects. It can be even competitors. Any type of organization that you either work with or want to somehow track. So a category perspective, the out of the box is preferred customer or standard. So it would be a way that you could filter out and say, show me a list of just my accounts that are the preferred customer, because you want, your top salesperson focusing on just those preferred customers. Or you want to be able to provide a way for your salespeople to prioritize which customers they reach out to first. Maybe they want to filter by the preferred customers. Those are the first people to be offered a deal, or maybe the only people to be offered a deal because they are a preferred customer. Or if you rate them differently, you could definitely change the names of these. Classifications, this only has the default value. It is completely open for you to customize. But classifications, this is where you could identify they are like a level 1 or a level 2. You could give different levels. You could something similar even to category like preferred customer or high balance, whatever you may want to be. It's just another way that you could classify your accounts. And then business type, this you could say, what type of business do they have? Are they professional services? Are they, you could create like a relationship. This is where you could identify, this is a competitor, this is a vendor, this is a partner, this is just a customer. These are ways to think about bucketing so you can slice your account list into just what you need to see. A lot of times you can have hundreds of accounts and you want to focus it down to the 15 you need to actually work with. I never recommend using all of the different option sets, and you'll see there's even more as we continue on the tabs. It's worth thinking about maybe only a few, and it's always those ways you want to split the data. Don't have an option set to have an option set, have it because at some point in time you are going to want to either know how your accounts fall, like we have 30% of our accounts are competitors or 30% of our accounts are preferred, something like that. Or if you want to be able to say, I only want to work with customers and I only want to work with customers that fall in this type of industry or at this level. So you can have more than one, but I definitely do not recommend using all of them. A couple cool features out of the box is this open revenue and open deals. This is just rolling up and telling you how much potential revenue you have out there from your opportunities and how many open opportunities you have. With accounts, you can assign sales territories. So you can see here we have a way to look up a territory, and there's also an option set for a territory code. This one that you can look up as a territory, you would have to set up sales territories first and identify those, and then you could relate an account to a particular territory. If you want to do that versus having salespeople be responsible for an account, that is a way to show me all my accounts that are within our Northeastern territory or our West territory, whatever it may be, or Territory 1. The other way that people can mark out accounts instead of territories is by individual salesperson or whoever the owner of the account is. So you can see here, I am the owner. So if I wanted to say, okay, salesperson A is going to take these 5 accounts, salesperson B, these 5 accounts, you could change the owner, and then they could always filter by show me just my accounts. So a couple different ways that you could split up responsibility for accounts. And then over here, we just see that primary contact that we already talked about. This little section here is pulling some data from that contact card. We're not going to get too much into form customization. That would be a webinar for another date, but this is just showing you that primary contact. Okay, so we looked at the notes. This is where you also can add activities. So if you have a phone call, you're a salesperson, you're just calling this account, not for anything particular except for to check in with them. You know, do you have any current opportunities or anything that maybe we could do for you? You can add an activity directly to an account. That would probably be the only scenario where I would add it directly into the account when you're not calling them about something else. When we look at, let's go to the details tab here. Here are some other buckets or things that are available out of the box for you to track regarding your accounts. Industry is a big one. I see a lot of people use this, and you can see there's just a few different, this is a completely customizable option set. There's quite a few out of the box, but you probably want to change some of the wording to match how you use it within your organization. You know, maybe you don't have doctors' offices and clinics. Maybe you don't work with them at all, or maybe you call them medical services or something else. Again, you can configure this, but industry is a big one that I see used a lot. You also can identify the type of ownership and the number of employees that an account has. Contact preferences is available both in the account and the contact level. I don't see this used as much at the account level. I see this more as a contact thing, but you can mark whether to allow or not allow different types of contacts. So if you have a customer that wants to opt out of any emails, you could track that here. Again, generally, this is tracked more at the individual contact level, but maybe they don't want to receive any mailers. So do not allow any mail for this customer. Whatever it may be, you could track it at the account level. A couple other things that you can track is you can give an account a credit limit, you can put them on a credit hold or not, and you can identify their payment terms. They also have shipping methods and freight terms that are available out of the box. So there's quite a bit available out of the box. A lot of times people first implementing the system can achieve almost everything they would need to from what is available out of the box. But I always like to mention the customizations that you can do within an entity. So when we're looking at this form, I touched on the fact that you can customize this form. You can change the order of the fields, you can add in new fields, you can give titles. For example, this isn't out of the box, the account information. You can see here that I have GP information. That doesn't come out of the box. I changed that title and I have it where it's only capitalizing some of it. So you can change the aesthetics, the features on the forms within these fields themselves that are coming through, like business type. A lot of times I've seen people change that to a relationship type code. So they may not have it say business type. They can change it to say relationship type or just relationship. So you can change the display names for your field. You can, any of the option sets, you can update, add, remove. You can completely customize the option sets. You also can create brand new fields. So for example, if you work in the agricultural industry and you're working with a lot of farmers and you want to know specifically, maybe the industry doesn't matter. I'm working with farmers. I just need to know if they're an actual customer or a vendor. I don't care so much about what industry they're in because they're all somehow related to the agriculture industry, but I want to know what type of crop they're planting, because how I handle a soybean farmer may be completely different from what I would offer to a corn farmer or wheat farmer or whatever it may be. It would be better to create a brand new field for crop type and have a list of crops that are available. And this is just one example, but sometimes your business can be so specific that you want to track those pieces of information so you can report on them. You can pull, hey, I want a list of all my people that plant corn, or I want a list of all of my people that have this particular feature. You can also have things like that where you have checkboxes. We do that with GP information. Do you do payroll? Check. Do you use your CRM? Do you use Microsoft CRM? Check. Do you use Power BI? Check. And then we can filter by that and say, show me all my customers that have this particular feature. So the ability to customize is really an awesome feature within within CRM. And it's worth spending some time thinking about that so that you can pull the data and have it at your fingertips as exactly like you would like it. At the account level, really spend some time. A lot of people like to kind of glaze over the account level. And because you can design marketing campaigns around the account level, you can offer discounts for opportunities. You can look at your higher risk accounts that might need more customer service or might need a more experienced salesperson. It is worth the time to think about those customizations, and it is something that is very easily achieved within Microsoft CRM. So I know this was a quick summary, but I hope that gave you an overall view of how to work with accounts, the intended purpose of accounts as they are set up, and what is available out of the box for you. It is, pretty robust out of the box, a little bit of configuration, and you can really have it working for your business well. And let me just pull this back up here. And if you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions on how something is supposed to work in CRM, or if there is something, how it could be achieved through customizations. Please feel free to reach out to me. I love answering questions. Does anyone have any questions right now? Wonderful. Well, thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.